Hey folks, welcome back to True Crime Stories, where we cover the most thrilling true crime stories. Before we get going, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for me. Thanks. And now let's get into today's story.
Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're taking a deep dive into Pine Hollow. You know, that charming little town. Well, things aren't always what they seem, right?
Right, and that's especially true in Pine Hollow.
Okay, so to set the scene for you, think peaceful.
Mm.
You know, the kind of town where life moves at the pace of their beloved clock tower.
The clock tower, yeah, that's a great place to start.
It sits right there in the town square.
Heart of the town, literally.
But get this, just before their big spring festival, the clock tower malfunctions and goes silent.
Almost like a bad omen, don't you think? Like the town's heartbeat just stopped.
Right. Spooky, huh? And then things take a turn for the worse.
And this broken clock sets the stage. It's like the calm before the storm.
So let's meet our main players. First, we have Isabella Izzy Jameson,
Izzy, such a vibrant soul.
a recently widowed artist seeking solace and inspiration in Pine Hollow's tranquil beauty.
She had this whimsical way about her, always saw beauty in the ordinary.
You know, light and shadow play.
Her journals, though, they paint a different picture. Raw, full of grief.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Losing her husband in that accident, it hit her hard.
Makes sense. New town, trying to find peace. And then there's Lenny Carver.
Ah, Lenny. The town clockmaker. Seems harmless enough, right?
Friendly guy, always tinkering.
But there's this fascination he has with time. It's a little unnerving.
More than a hobby, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's an obsession.
Like he wants to control time, not just understand it.
Exactly. And he builds these strange clocks, these contraptions.
I read about those. It's like he's blurring the lines between reality and fantasy.
And that's where things get really interesting.
Now, into this mix walks Deputy Mia Torres. She's the one assigned to Izzy's case.
Ambitious, sharp as a tack, not quite buying into the whole small town charm.
She sees right through it.
She's spent years observing people. She can spot a lie a mile away.
So when Izzy vanishes, Mia dives headfirst into this town full of secrets, starting with the other possible suspects.
Gladys Martin, the town historian. A little jealous of Izzy's talent, maybe.
Possibly. What about Ethan Waters, a struggling artist, a friend of Izzy's late husband?
Could be battling demons of his own. Maybe even had feelings for Izzy.
Who knows?
Yeah.
And then we have Laura and Mark Bennett, the seemingly perfect neighbors.
But with a pretty shaky alibi. Remember, in a town this small, everyone's connected.
Right. It's like a tangled web.
And Mia has to untangle it thread by thread.
So things start to unravel pretty quickly. First, the clock tower goes silent.
That eerie silence. It's like the town holding its breath.
Then local pets start disappearing, unsettling everyone.
Amplifying the fear, Something's wrong.
And finally, Izzy vanishes during one of her evening walks in the woods.
Last seen near Lenny's workshop, by the way.
Can't make that up.
Nope. Chilling, isn't it?
Totally. And you know what Mia finds? Izzy's journals.
Those journals, they're like a window into her soul.
Full of sketches, thoughts on time, memories, and this recurring image of an old clock.
And then there's Lenny. His obsession, those strange clock contraptions. Mia can't shake the feeling that something's off.
The pieces aren't fitting, are they?
Not at all. And then that torn piece of Izzy's journal surfaces.
The one with the creepy drawing of the clock tower? Engulfed in storm clouds.
Exactly. Found by a kid playing in the woods not far from Lenny's workshop.
Talk about a smoking gun.
It's like a piece of Izzy's inner world collided with Lenny's workshop. People start to point fingers.
The suspicion is mounting, and Mia digs deeper into Izzy's life, searching for answers.
At Izzy's house, she finds Izzy's sketchbook still open.
As if she just stepped away.
Inside, these haunting drawings, notes about feeling trapped, lost in her memories.
It's giving me goosebumps just thinking about it.
Right. It's chilling stuff.
So Mia's got a lot of ground to cover. She's got Lenny, acting all suspicious.
With his clocks and his secrets.
Then there's Gladys, Ethan, and the Bennetts.
Each with their own motives and secrets.
Mia needs to figure out who's telling the truth and who's hiding something.
And
as she investigates the scene of Izzy's disappearance, she finds more and more evidence.
footprints leading away from her usual path. 2 different sizes, like someone was with her.
Little people.
Maybe. And then there are the tire tracks.
Tire track.
They don't match any of the suspects' vehicles. It's a puzzle, all right.
And the pieces just keep getting weirder and weirder.
Until Mia stumbles upon something truly chilling in Lenny's workshop.
What? Tell me.
A hidden trapdoor leading to a secret cellar.
No way. A secret cellar. What was down there?
Oh, you're not going to believe this.
I'm all ears.
It was a room filled with clocks. Each one stopped at a specific time, and photos of Izzy plastered all over the walls. Welcome back. We left off with Mia finding that secret room in Lenny's workshop, remember? Clocks, photos of Izzy. It's all starting to make sense in a really creepy way.
It's like something out of Nightmare. So did Lenny try to explain himself? What was he doing with all those photos of Izzy?
Well, that's where his obsession with time takes a really dark turn. He actually confessed, said he wanted to preserve Izzy's spirit, to protect her from the pain of grief.
Preserve her spirit? What does that even mean?
He thought that by capturing these moments, freezing them in time, he could somehow shield her from the harsh realities of the world.
It's like he was trying to create his own little world where time stood still. A world where Izzy wouldn't have to face the pain of loss.
Exactly, but his good intentions, if you can even call them that, were completely twisted by his obsession.
It's a classic case of good intentions gone wrong. And ultimately, his actions led to Izzy's death.
A tragic reminder that even the most well-meaning actions can have devastating consequences when driven by obsession.
So, Lenny's trial for involuntary manslaughter. It must have been a real turning point for Pine Hollow. What was the atmosphere like in the town?
Imagine a town that's lost its innocence. They thought they knew Lenny, the friendly clockmaker, and then bam, he's implicated in Izzy's death.
It's like their whole worldview got flipped upside down.
Absolutely. It forced them to confront this dark side of human nature that they probably never wanted to acknowledge.
And the verdict. How did the town react to the judge's decision?
So Lenny gets a 5-year sentence. But here's the twist. He's sent to a psychiatric facility instead of prison, followed by community service.
Wow, that must have been controversial.
It was. Some folks were furious. They thought he got off easy. Others understood that mental illness played a part in all of this.
It's a tough situation. Justice isn't always black and white.
Right. This case really highlighted the need for more awareness about mental health. Maybe if Lenny had gotten help sooner.
It's a heartbreaking thought. So with the trial over, how did Pine Hollow begin to heal from all of this?
Healing takes time, The scars of Izzy's death, they'll always be there. But even amidst the grief, there were these glimmers of hope.
Glimmers of hope. Tell me more about that.
Remember Izzy's art? Her paintings, her sketches, they were so full of emotion of her own personal journey.
It's amazing how art can have that power to connect with people on such a deep level.
Right. And after Izzy's death, her art took on a whole new meaning for the people of Pine Hollow.
Like it became a way for them to remember her, to connect with her spirit.
Exactly. And then there's the clock tower, that symbol of the town, remember? Silent during those dark days.
Like a visual representation of their collective grief.
And then Lenny's apprentice decides to repair it. Takes months, but he puts it all back together.
Wow, that's powerful.
When that clock tower finally chimed again, it was like a symbol of the town's resilience.
Life goes on, even after tragedy. Did they ever find Izzy's body, though?
They did. Lenny finally confessed and led them to her remains, hidden in a secluded part of the woods.
I can't imagine the pain her family and friends must have felt.
It was a devastating discovery for the whole town. Confirmed their worst fears.
And Lenny, he dedicated himself to community service after his treatment.
Yeah. Used his skills as a clockmaker to give back to the community. Fixed clocks for the elderly. Taught kids how to build them.
Sounds like he was trying to make amends.
He was. But it was tough. Some people could never forgive him. Others saw his remorse as genuine.
Forgiveness is a complicated thing. So Pine Hollow found a way to move on, even with the memory of Izzy's death. Her art, the clock tower, Lenny trying to make things right.
Yeah.
It's like they found a way to weave those threads of tragedy into something meaningful.
They did. But that doesn't mean they forgot Izzy. Her memory lives on.
Welcome back to our final deep dive into the secrets of Pine Hollow. We've covered a lot of ground, haven't we?
We have. From Izzy's disappearance to Lenny's obsession and the town's struggle to heal. It's been quite a journey.
It has. And I'm still thinking about Izzy, her art, her spirit, her tragic end. What do you think her lasting impact will be on Pine Hollow?
I think Izzy's legacy is going to be profound, and not just in the art she left behind.
What do you mean?
Remember, her art became a source of healing for the entire community after her death.
Right, it was like a way for them to connect with her even though she was gone.
Exactly. And it went beyond just her paintings and sketches. Remember the clock tower?
Oh, yeah. The clock tower went silent during those dark days, and then
it was repaired, and when it finally chimed again, it took on this whole new meaning.
it became a symbol of resilience, like the town itself was coming back to life.
You got it. The chime of that clock tower became a testament to Pine Hollow's ability to heal, to move forward.
It's beautiful in a way.
Yeah.
It can wound, but it can also mend. But what about Lenny? Where did he end up after everything that happened?
So Lenny served his sentence in that psychiatric facility, got the treatment he needed for his obsession, worked through the trauma.
And then, did he stay away from Pine Hollow?
Actually, no. He went back, dedicated himself to community service.
Really? What did he do?
Well, being a clockmaker, he used his skills to help folks in the town, fixed clocks for the elderly, even taught kids how to build them.
Sounds like he was trying to make amends for what happened.
He was trying to find a way to give back, to make things right, but, it wasn't easy for everyone to accept him back.
Of course not. Some people could never forgive him for what happened to Izzy. And, who could blame them? It was a terrible tragedy.
It was. But others, they saw that he was genuinely remorseful. They saw that he was trying to change.
It just goes to show that forgiveness is a complicated thing, isn't it?
It really is. And there's no right or wrong answer. It's a personal journey for everyone involved.
This deep dive into Pine Hollow, it's been a real eye-opener. It's shown us that even in the most charming, peaceful places, darkness can hide. And sometimes, the people we think we know are capable of things we never imagined.
Absolutely. This case had it all. Obsession, grief, the longing for control, and in the end, a community finding a way to heal and move forward.
It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's always hope, and that the human spirit is incredibly resilient.
That's a great takeaway. We all have the capacity for both darkness and light, and sometimes it's the choices we make that determine which path we take.
Well said. And with that, we come to the end of our deep dive into the secrets of Pine Hollow. It's been a privilege to explore this case with you.
The pleasure was all mine. Always fascinated to delve into these complex cases and trying to make sense of the human heart.
It is. And to our listeners, thanks for joining us on this journey. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep seeking the truth no matter where it leads.